Now, when we try to compare standard of living between two countries, one of the things that we're going to use for comparison is usually this thing called GDP per capita. So let's say country A takes a GDP per capita of $80,000 and country B has a GDP per capita of $60,000. So if we look at these two countries, you're going to say, okay, country A has a higher GDP per capita than country B, so country A has a higher standard of living than country B. Now this is not actually a very easy assessment to make because country A may have a higher GDP per capita, but tendency is that country A will also have a higher cost of living. So you actually kind of need to equalize these two countries for purchasing power. So you need to see what's the difference in purchasing power between the two countries. The second problem with assessing the GDP per capita between these two countries to make a standard of living comparison is the level of taxes. So country A may have a high GDP per capita, but perhaps their income taxes are like 40%. So that takes a very huge chunk out of the disposable income that a person has. Perhaps country B has a lower GDP per capita, but the income taxes are only about 5%. So in the end, people in country B might be actually doing better than people in country A. Another one more problematic thing about this data is that you kind of want to actually ask yourself whether the data that you use is actually accurate. So for example, if you were coming from a very large country, data collection may be very tedious. Say if you have a population of 200 million versus a population of 5 million. Of course, data collection is going to be easier in the country where the population is only 5 million compared to a country where the population is 200 million. This tells us that comparing standard of living between two countries is not so straightforward.